How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you another Pokemon Horizons episode review. Today's episode is episode 19, The Truth About Mawhip. Before I go any further, please don't forget to hit my like button over there, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of everything that goes on my channel. Get it? You guys like pun? No, don't go. Don't leave. Don't leave. I'm sorry. I like a good pun. And if you don't know what Mawhip is, Mawhip is the Japanese name for I've always trying to figure out if it's Alcremie or Alcremie, right? Alcremie, alchemy and cream. Basically, baking is technically doing chemistry if we're going to be honest. But let's talk about what happens, right? So our daily episode recap, weekly recap didn't talk anything about the origins of Captain Pikachu, which was kind of interesting, right? Kind of made me feel as though it was, I don't want to say a filler, but if this counts as a filler because it didn't really advance the main story going, if this did count as filler, it was a damn good filler. And I want more episodes that if they're going to be filler, they got to be that kind of filler. They got to deal with how characters meet other characters and going deep into those backstories, because I'm gonna be honest, if you just do like another day in the life, which we've gotten tons of those, it probably won't work out. Although I guess if you space it out, I guess we could like it and appreciate it, but I digress. So we're here in Galar, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I like the Japanese names for the places in Galar more than the English ones, because the only place I can think of is Stow on Side, which that's a dumb name. I'm sorry. Just it got to a certain point in these games, and I played all of them, where they just started to have to come up with other stuff for names, which I get it. For routes and towns, I get it. You got to do different things, right? But kind of like with Scarlet and Violet, for Galar, I can't remember for the life of me a lot of the names. Maybe if I thought hard enough. The only one that comes to name is Stone Side, but the main big city that is basically the central, I want to call it the central hub, but I guess it's the first big major city if you play the game, is called Engine City. Such a better name. That's where you fight the fighting gym leader. Don't remember his Western name, but his Japanese name is Mr. Kabu, with the Scorch, the big old fire centipede. So they're there. And apparently the plan was to take a train to Knuckle City. It's probably where we're going to meet Bay. Or that's her name, Bay. B-E-A. Bay. This is Bew. But I think it can't be Bo. I think it's B. I think it's Bay. But that's where her gym is, right? Now, a fan favorite, bye. But I don't remember the name of where she's from. So Knuckle City makes a lot more sense. But they're going to take a train because they can't keep flying. Freed has made the excellent point that if they continue flying, it's just going to be a lot easier for the explorers to find them. So why make it easy? But unfortunately, they're not going anywhere because there's some scheduled maintenance for the train that's going to be going on all day, to which both Roy and Liko are free to do whatever they want. And what they're going to end up doing is going with Murdock shopping. Now, I do like how we set this up, because we set it up early with everyone getting coffee, and the kids are like, aren't we kind of, young for coffee, and coffee kind of bitter? And Alcremie just puts a little bit of that Alcremie in it, and it tastes sweet. We got a joke about Dot going, "Oh, it's too sweet," but no, it's not for Dot. Funny enough, Liko gives Sprigatito a taste of that cream from the top of the cup. I'm thinking to myself, you're not gonna drink right behind your cat Pokemon, are you? Or are you? That's just a thought. But I digress. They go with him shopping. Now, what Dot is asking for is a Slurpuff Cotton Candy, so she can put this thing in her video. It looks like Slurpuff. Slurpuff is actually one of my favorite gin Well, X and Y, so that's Gen 6, one of my favorite Gen 6 Pokemon, Fairy Pokemon, is at this battle cafe, and Roy wants to ask more questions about the Black Rayquaza. So she goes, hey, it's a battle cafe. You can ask other people there if they've seen anything. So they go shopping. They do it. We see Roy asking people. They take one of those cool elevators where you hit the button and it just go chink. I know if you play the games, you know. Not only are they doing different kinds of shopping, I'm trying to make sure I didn't forget any cute interactions here. No cute interactions. But they do actually, yes. Roy and Liko see Galar wheezing, which I like to call Sir Coughington III. There's also Scorvet, the little not the chipmunk, the squirrel Pokemon from Gen 8, which evolves into Greedent. I didn't mention that we saw Larry eating, and Greedent, the big ass squirrel, is right beside it. Didn't mean to say it like that, but that's what it is. And Roy's not finding out any information. He's kind of getting dejected. They still have to go and get this cotton candy. And I believe, I don't know if someone had mentioned for him to talk to Mr. Kabu. Mr. Kabu, like I mentioned before, is the gym leader, but Mr. Kabu apparently also comes from Hoenn. I did not know that. Interesting. And since Rayquaza is from Hoenn lore, makes sense to ask someone who's from there all about it. I like that. Keep your characters informed and knowledgeable. We cannot go back. No offense, Ash. I grew up with you, but we can never go back to the days of people going, huh? Really? Is that where it's from? I like these are kids, but Roy, only thing Roy was able to do on Island was read and go to school. So that makes sense. Liko has gone to school. Liko is knowledgeable. Liko is knowledgeable. So things like that, I heavily appreciate. And they get to this place, right? And they see the head Patasia having a battle with one of the patrons. The patrons used a Kufant, little cute little elephant that also debuted in Galar, versus Vanillite, little ice cream Pokemon. I love object Pokemon, just throwing it out there. A lot of people don't like Pokemon based on inanimate objects. I do. I'm still waiting for a literal wrench Pokemon. If you're going to make some fan art, make fan art of a wrench Pokemon. I'm looking for a wrench, literally. But I digress. They beat the person. They get the Slurpuff Cotton Candy. And unfortunately, Murdock knows this gentleman named Mitchell. Literally, that's his name. I love it. I love that that's his name. He just says Trebion and all this other French shit, right? They know each other. And unfortunately, in order to get this cotton candy, you have to battle. Now, the kids have already looked on here, and there's this little battle area with grass on the side of the place. And in order to get it, you got to battle. But you only battle once a day to try to get it. And Murdock is just like, Mitchell. And he goes on and says, Murdock. Now, Alcremie is trying to be nice to this dude, and this dude just turns his head on him. And although they're there to get it, Mitchell's like, I have no intentions on battling you. I have another name for Mitchell. It's a word that rhymes with Mitch. You just replace a letter, and that was the nickname I was giving him because that's kind of what he was being. And so Murdock is just upset at this table. So is Alcremie. Liko just finally goes, hey, you never like this. You're so serious. What's wrong? And he profusely apologizes, especially for doing it in front of the kids. And we get a background for him. Him and Mitchell used to run a small patissier shop, all the confections you would want. Murdock's staple is ruby cakes and things because his Alcremie is actually a ruby mix Alcremie. But we'll get into it in a minute. This is back when Alcremie was just a Milcree, the cute little Milcree. And so him and Mitchell used to work. They were fierce rivals, but they eventually worked together. Mitchell would do a lot of matcha stuff. You should know what matcha is, right? Now, here's the one thing I want to find funny. It's red versus green. The very first video games, Pokemon Red, Pokemon Green, Pokemon Blue was an extra third game, along with Yellow being extra fourth. I don't know why they changed it over here. I think Red versus Green would have been a lot cooler. And I feel bad for Venusaur because sometimes people don't take him seriously. But I digress. Red versus green, Ruby versus matcha. They used to equally sell out, but one day, Milk Cream was throwing the cream in because the cream from Milk Cream made everything taste great, especially their specialties. Milk Cream one day grabbed a strawberry, and if you don't know how you evolve Milk Cream into Alcremie, there are various ingredients that your Milk Cream can hold. After that, because of the gyroscopic controllers, you spin yourself in a circle. Now, depending on which direction you're going, how long you're going, and the time of day that you're going for the spin, there are, I think there's like over, is it over 80? I forget the amount of combinations, or should I say variations of Alcremie there are, but that's how you get your Milk Cream to turn into one, through a certain ingredient and literally mixing. For those of you who know, tell me how many variations of Milk Cream, of Alcremie there are. I actually do like Alcremie. I got one in a trade. Fantastic Pokemon. I love it to death. But yeah, when she spins with the strawberry, it's like, oh, I evolved. And they both came in. Obviously, Murdock is happy. He's like, hey, you're Ruby. Yeah. And then Mitchell just instantly turned into B Mitchell. Just started kind of like, oh, yeah, I guess that's nice. And his stuff wasn't selling as well anymore. Murdock is happy. He's like, oh, with Alcremie, I could do anything. It's great. And one day, Alcremie tries to give him, like cream on a cracker. It's delicious, I suppose. And dude slaps it out of his hand. And Murdock's like, what? What are you doing? Mitchell just goes, I can't continue like this anymore. I can't do it. Can't work with you. All your stuff is great because it evolved into that. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just thinking to myself, wow, if you really cared about what it evolved into, you would have tried to change it. Now, at this point, I was assuming that Alcremie was not just Murdock's Pokemon. I thought it was their Pokemon, right? But no, it is Murdock's Pokemon. And Murdock checked on Alcremie because once he smacked it, this thing's tiny, like, ooh. And Murdock goes, you couldn't love sweets, because if you did, a person who hurts sweets wouldn't actually love them. And Mitch was like sacre bleu, right? And it's kind of true though. Like you smack the living embodiment of cream and sweetness. So, and he did it out of jealousy. That's what annoys me, man. Like, I feel if the tables were turned and it was like green matcha, what is Murdock supposed to do? Then Murdock's just gonna switch over to making green stuff. Like if Alcreme's cream mattered that much, you all should have tried. Or Milk Cream's cream mattered that much, you all should have tried your best to change them into something else, or change it to a different type that would have helped you both. Possibly, I don't know. But after Murdock, Murdock is explaining all this to both Liko and Roy. He's saying, this isn't something that's been on my mind for a long time. I'm always thinking, how can I patch things up and be friends again? But I can't figure it out, and we always butt heads anyway. And Liko comes to this great realization: wow, a lot of people depend on him, but he has so much going on. Like, is reconceptualizing what she thinks of an adult. Like she said, he seems so grown up, like he has it all together and nothing happens. And I'm here to tell you, at the ripe age of 35, and as I'm learning, as I'm observing other people who are of my age and older, you're always figuring it out. No one has the ultimate answers. And if anybody tells you they have the ultimate answers, they're probably trying to sell you snake oil, or they're a jerk. Straight up, no one has all the answers, and we are constantly learning. There are just people who are more responsible and take action when you need to take action, and that's what it's all about. But Murdock is a great example of an adult, especially in the Pokemon world, because he has stuff that goes on. he's caring about his niece, making sure she's okay, wanting to know she's all right. Now that they are in, I guess what's the term I'm looking for? Now that the Rising Volekkers are kind of the guardians of Roy and Liko. I love how in the Pokemon world, like people take watching kids serious, right? So they're kind of their guardians. He cares about them and he cares about his other shipmate and his crew, but he has his own stuff going on. And it doesn't negate him from being human. It just means, oh man, even he can't figure things all the way out. And I like that. That is a very separate from Pokemon thing, but I love that it was addressed in this way. Now Liko does catch Mr. Mitchell staring at them. And he kind of jumps back because he goes back into the shop and then he jumps away. And Liko's thinking, okay, hey, Murdock, let's challenge him together, you and me. They're gonna do a double battle. Let's challenge him. We'll get the Slurpuff cotton candy because they can't leave and not get it for Dot. I mean, that's the one thing she asked for. Which, funny enough, I forgot to mention. Orla went into Engine City to pick up different parts for the airship, which I think is funny. She loves building stuff, so she went crazy riding on Metagross to get in there. Pardon. So, as I was saying, they're gonna challenge it. They're gonna do it. Well, they're gonna go challenge him. Now it's funny because I love the interact, love how the characters, not just the Pokemon, but how the characters act. Now I did forget to mention that Sprigatito and Fuecoco running in that field and they tired themselves out and fell asleep on the stairs. Adorable, but they ask. Liko does the bowing, said, "Please battle us." Murdock, Roy says, "Go on, Murdock, go ahead." Murdock's like, "Please." I love just the apathy of just dealing with this. It's so real. And he goes, "All right, well, I'm gonna let you know I'm strong." And Roy's like, "You lost though. Earlier we saw you lose. Oh, the morning battles are courtesy for the customers. I'm pretty strong and I ain't gonna lose to you, Murdock." Murdock just like, I ain't gonna lose to you. Let's do it. Dude is it does feel like he might have pulled some punches there because he sent out Appleton. Ooh, I love Appleton. And what was the other one? Appleton and Slurpuff. Love that I'm seeing when you think about it, this dude is a Pataseer. What kind of Pokemon would a Pataseer have? Food and baking Pokemon. Makes tons of sense. And he's doing the apple acid. They're doing combination attacks. And he's showing off, attacking one and attacking the other. Alcremie is doing a lot of boosting moves. And then all of a sudden it turns into a bake battle because Appleton's apple spit, apple acid, and Slurpuff's cream stuff. Dude's mixing it. Murdock's mixing the Alcremie cream, and both Liko and Roy just kind of, and Sprigatito are taking a step back, like, okay, this had a turn. And what I forgot to mention before they battle is when Roy's like, "Yeah, Liko, you gotta win," and she's like, "I will win for Alcremie," and he's like, "For Alcremie." So when all this is done, the people who are watching the battle come and taste the confections that they've made. Was it Murdock apologizes to Liko saying, "I'm sorry that it turned out this way. It's supposed to be a regular battle and it turned into this." She says, "Nah, it's cool. It was fun." And Alcremie wanted to bake with you two again. Right, Alcremie? Yep, of course it did. And Mitchell Lees comes back with that original cake we saw he had and says, "This is a hidden menu item and I haven't perfected it." He asks Alcremie for some of that Alcremie cream. It is done. He apologizes because he said he blamed Milcree turning into the Ruby mix when it was actually his own lack of skill to mix that flavor in with his other flavors. And he says he was envious and he was jealous and he apologizes. And they both hug and they cry, Grown men hugging and crying. And it's funny, you get Roy going, they're crying, but they're adults. And Liko goes, yeah, and that's fine. I cry too. And she goes, well, we cry too. Like saying all of us, and it's acceptable for adults to cry. Good job, Good job, Pokemon. I'm proud of you for addressing that. Um, but yeah, they win the Slurpuff thing essentially because dude's not gonna be an a-hole. They're friends again. But as luck would have it, Mr. Kabu, the gym leader, was on the side enjoying the confections because Mitchell's like, oh, Mr. Kabu's here. And they're like, yeah, we need to talk to this guy. And he's like, he's one of the cooler designs of a gym leader. I actually like his design. Like his main Pokemon too, I used it. But good episode. Very good episode. It's a 4 out of 5. I like that this series baseline is a 4, where it's like it's not super duper amazing, but it's not. We've gotten to their average. Their average is like a recap show where it's like every 10 minutes is the recaps and nothing really moves forward until the very end. That is very blah. This is good. I'm enjoying this. And I'm also enjoying like the background how he met this Pokemon. Now we do recognize that Rockruff is Murdock's partner. Rockruff is having special brushing time with Molly, so gonna get a very shiny, cute coat. I don't know what Freed is doing. Freed is probably just chilling. So our next episode is going to be about Mr. Kabu's training. So Liko and Roy are gonna tag to battle this guy. They're gonna run. I'm gonna need Liko to get another Pokemon. Now that you're in Galar, Gally, get you a Galar Pokemon. Although you probably should have gotten a Pokemon that was in Paldea while you were still there. I do like that they're also being smart too. We can't keep flying. We keep getting caught. So let's do something different. But let's talk about the Pokemon seminar of the week. And as you all have probably guessed it, if you guys are smart, right? It's not going to be that hard to figure out who this Pokemon is. And you guessed right, it is Alcremie. If I can... I had everything pulled up and I don't know why my system shut down like that. It might just be quicker just to pull it up on the non-big seminar Odex. That's what I'm calling this. It's also called the Digibook when I'm doing Digimon. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Somehow a phone is faster than a tablet. So we're going to go with that. I just want you guys to see the creature. And hopefully that is unfortunate. There we go. Look at that. That's Alcremie. And I think this is actually that Ruby mix form too. There's like a baseline form that if you just spin once with like a strawberry, a lot of people get that. But, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know if this is the night form or not. I've never tried to get multiple forms of this Pokemon. That is not a good picture. I was going to show you a green one. That it's not a good picture. I'm not going to do that to you all. Here's a better one. I love how we start off bright. There we go. That's a better one right there. As a matter of fact, if we're going to be... There we go. These things take so long. Yeah, no. Don't know why it's always super bright like that. But yep, there it is. Alcremie. Alcremie, of course, is a fairy type Pokemon. Now, what does it make that is important to Cake? I can't even believe they even asked that. Obviously, with a Pokemon with the name Alcremie, it makes cream. It makes cream. That's what it does. I already said 4 out of 5. Enjoyable episode. This time, the human interaction is great. They still tried to loop it back around and go, hey, Alcremie was pretty sad when they left and things got broken up and it still wanted to work with them together. But there's such a cool human element to it that makes a lot of sense. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos like this. I appreciate all of you taking the time out to listen to me talk about Pokemon. So please be safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Drink your water. Be good, be blessed. Wash those hands. Be good to yourselves. Be good to others out the way it goes. Don't be a jerk, all right? All right. And realize you're not alone. There are people out there that care about you, that will rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. All right. Just make sure you reach out to somebody. My social media is in the description down below. Give me a follow. Send me a message. I will reply. Just don't be a jerk. All right. All right. Guys, I can't wait to talk to you next week. It's going to be fun. I'll catch you then.